Right now, you have a choice to make. You're either building a personal brand to get followers, or you're building it to get customers. Gurus would tell you that you need to make the widest content possible to get the most amount of views. But the reality is, all you need to do is build real trust with your ideal customer. In 2025, after 16 years of building personal brands, I decided to do something crazy and build my own. And in the first 10 months, we got over 200,000 followers, 40,000 people on our email list, but most importantly, we received over 750 applications to work with us. In this course, I'm gonna help you start your personal brand by establishing your brand positioning and building a content strategy that gets real customers, not just followers. But here's the crazy thing. There's a chance that you are here watching this video thinking that you should start your personal brand purely because you've seen somebody you admire do it, and so you think this is just something that you have to do. A huge mistake that I see is people are building their personal brand just to check a box. They have never actually sat down and defined a goal or what their desired outcome is, and then use that to inform whether or not they should actually build their personal brand. I actually believe that there might be a case where you don't need to do that. When I was embarking on this crazy journey of building my own business and potentially building my own personal brand, I had the fortune of being able to sit down with Gary Vaynerchuk. I worked for Gary for a couple of years. When I shared with him that I was considering not only building my own consulting firm, but starting to put out content to help people build their personal brand, but then also drive awareness and conversion to my business. And his response shocked me. This is the man that preaches online 24/7. Everyone needs to be making content. Content is the gateway drug to what you want out of life. That's like his direct quote. But what he said to me is, I really think you should be sure that this is what you really want. You might be able to build a great business without ever making content. I want you to make sure that this fits into the life that you are building. And as you can imagine, sitting down with the content king, hearing something like that, it caused me to think twice. And I really tried to look at what am I trying to accomplish? Is making content publicly, is this necessary to accomplish that? And what I realized is that I had two main goals. The first one was that I wanted to grow my business. Theoretically, I could do that without making content. But the second goal was that I wanted to help people build a personal brand. I think there's a shitload of people teaching people how to build a bad personal brand that makes the world worse. I want to help people build personal brands that add to the world, that make the world better. I wanted to do that for a huge amount of people that I know will never work with us directly at Ralston. They'll never pay us a dime. And so the first desired outcome I had, I could accomplish that without making content. The second one, where I help a bunch of people for free that never work with us, I would never have been able to do that, at least at the scale that I'm looking to accomplish, without making content. And so it answered the question for me. The beauty of it is now I have something to measure against. Every decision I make supports those two desired outcomes. Is this helping build the business, or is this helping educate people for free? If it's not doing one of those two things, I'm probably not gonna put it out in the content. You really need to think about what it is that you are trying to accomplish and whether or not content supports that. So all that to say, it was absolutely insane to me that Gary said this and kind of gave me a pause. But it really made me realize just how important it is to establish and understand the end goal in mind, because you may realize that there are better ways of accomplishing that goal outside of making content. Here's an example. I have a friend who is in executive protection, okay? And let's say that this friend of mine is currently a security guard at a local mall or a local bank. We'll use the mall example. And they have the desire to work their way up into executive protection, where they are protecting and being like basically a bodyguard for somebody who is probably pretty important. If you're gonna be Taylor Swift's EP, it's probably not a good thing if a bunch of people know who you are, because you're not going to be able to move through different scenarios as discreetly. In that case, do you think that it would be a good idea to make content? Do you think that making content and building your personal brand publicly will help you accomplish your desired outcome? I'm gonna go ahead and answer it for you. I'm gonna say the answer is no. There are scenarios where being more publicly known actually hurts your desired outcome and makes it harder to accomplish the goal at hand rather than easier. And so what we need to do is we need to establish, what is that desired outcome? What are we trying to accomplish? And does building a public personal brand and making content support that? Or does it hurt it? But before we get into establishing your brand positioning, I want to figure out what this goal is, this desired outcome that you have, what you're trying to achieve. A couple years ago, I came up with a framework called the Brand Journey Framework. And it's 4 simple questions, and it basically helps you figure out what that desired outcome is, and then everything you need to do from today to get to that point. It reverse engineers all the way from the desired outcome to today. Very, very simple, very effective. But actually, before we get into the questions, we have a workbook that goes with this entire course. And it allows you to take what you are hearing me say and supposedly learning and actually make sure that you learn it and apply it to your personal brand. You're gonna click that link, go to the website, enter your email. We will send you the workbook for you to download and go through in accordance with this entire course. And the Brand Journey Framework is the first exercise you're going to do. Here's the 4 simple questions. Question number 1 is, what is your desired outcome? What are you wanting to achieve? The second question you'll answer is, in order to achieve that desired outcome, what would I need to be known for, right? Like, what is the reputation that I need to have? The third question is, in order to develop that reputation, to be known for the thing, to get the outcome I desire, what would you have to do? We become known for things not just by saying bullshit out of our mouth, but by the actions that we actually take day in and day out. What are the actions you need to do to be known for the thing to get your desired outcome? The last and final question, the 4th one, what do I need to learn in order to do the things to become known for the thing to get my desired outcome? If you go through this journey, you're going to have a very clear roadmap on how you're going to get to your desired outcome. But then you can look at, what is that end goal in mind? And does making content accelerate my ability to get there? Or does it actually make it slower and harder for me to accomplish that goal? If the answer is it makes it easier, amazing. Let's proceed. If the answer is it doesn't make it easier and it's actually going to be harder, I would encourage you, don't waste any more time on this video. The rest of this video is for those of you who have identified that making content and building a public personal brand moves you closer to your end goal. If that's the case, let's get you closer to the end goal. And the first question that I would like to address is, why should anybody listen to you? You watching this, you're in one of 2 camps. You're either the student or the expert. And the majority of this video, to be very clear, is for the expert. But one thing that I want to call out is that some of you are actually a student who are pretending to be an expert. If you're the student, you don't have the big W's. You don't have years of experience. You're not who your audience wants to be. You're on the journey of becoming who your audience wants to become. What your job is to be the guinea pig, to be the proxy for your audience. You do all the testing and investing that either goes well or doesn't go well. And so if you're the student, fucking be the student. Don't pretend and posture as the expert. This is where I see so many people get trapped and stuck online. And what you end up doing is you burn trust forever with that audience. So for the students watching, know that you are the student. Now, the expert, I think it's probably pretty clear to you, although you might be somebody who would feel awkward calling yourself an expert. But if you have multiple W's on your resume, if you are the person who your audience wants to become, or you have done the thing that your audience wants to do, then you are the expert. And it's your job to teach in public. The student is learning in public, but you are teaching in public. And there's a little bit of build in public that you can add into that. But the main thing that I want to focus on is that you're going to be sharing how you've accomplished what you've accomplished. The mistakes, I guess, that you've made along the way that you would encourage others to avoid when going on the same journey. But you also want to make sure that you're imparting to them the ability to go from where they are to that expert level quicker than you did. And the first thing I wanna do is actually an exercise. I wanna start this video off by actually taking some real action and getting some results right away for us, okay? And so what you're gonna do is there's a link in the description below this video on YouTube. Click that link, enter your email. We're going to send you the workbook. And in that workbook,